All right, so the next group we've got is the University of Houston downtown. They were only able to bring a limited amount of people to be on the panel, and so they apologize. No, as y'all know, Dr. Ramirez, comes from our PhD program, and we were so excited when he became the associate director of the Center for Latino Studies. And then we got to meet Albert, and like, you're amazing. I read your Rate My Professor. I was like, whoa, this guy's like killing it, by the way.
He just won an award for best.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Outstanding lecture award.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Check out our page.
Yeah. So,
We're shameless.
I've gotten to actually go and visit the University of Houston downtown multiple times now. I got to visit the Latino Center, Center for Latino Studies. There we go. Oh, I'll get this right. And it's a very, very welcoming place. They're doing really cool things, and I can't wait to hear what y'all have been up to. So without further ado.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Rojas. I am their student assistant at the Center of Latino Studies. I work with Director De Jesus and Director Ramirez, which I absolutely love. I am an undergrad and I will be graduating this May, and my major is corporate communication.
Woo!
Thank you for that introduction, Jasmine. Your check's in the mail. So, like Joey was saying, how do I start? Because I mean, like, this has been a journey for me, because it's surreal for me to be up here being a former member of. Well, I feel like I'm still a member, like, wholeheartedly with Media and Gaming Lab, a proud member, just like our panel before, and so. I'm lucky to be able to collaborate with Joey and Zeno and Karina, and they're like family to me, and I got nothing but love for them. And Valentina, who I saw over there. Oh, there she is. She's like a sister to me, one of my best friends. Shout out to Mike. And then my literal sister, well, she's my little cousin, but she's like my little sister Alice is here with her roommate Megan, who's like my sister as well. So it's like I have family here. I literally do. And that's my BCS family. But my Houston family is here. This is my Houston family. And I've been at UHD for 2 years, and it's been a wonderful experience because of these individuals right here. These individuals have helped make me feel at home at the University of Houston downtown, and it's been a wonderful experience, and we hope to blow your mind with the cool stuff we're trying to do, and we're not trying to copy the Media and Gaming Lab anyway, no, whatsoever. But all jokes aside, we are. Well, what I've learned from the Media and Gaming Lab here at Texas A&M through Joey and through my other mentors like Dr. Trevita Ramasubramanian, Dr. Antonio La Pastina, Dr. Anna Wolf, Dr. Robin Means Coleman. I'm going to shout out everyone and their mother. That's what I'm going to do because they mean a lot to me. And all these people and individuals really, really mean a lot to me. And what I've learned from them is what I'm carrying forward here at UHD. And we're really excited to share what we're going to share with you all. So I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Albert De Jesus, who is the interim director at the Center for Latino Studies, and he'll share a little bit more about it, and then I guess I can talk a little bit about it too. Okay, so without further ado, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. So a quick intro about UHD. Many people don't understand what UHD is. It's not the main campus. UHD is a satellite campus, and it's right on the north side of downtown of Houston, and we have a total of 4 buildings. And so it's an urban university. We're also a federally designated minority serving institution. We also a federally designated Hispanic serving institution. And so over 50% of our students are of Spanish heritage in the entire institution. So that's a big item for us. And so the first time I served as interim director for the Center for Latino Studies about 3 years ago, it was very much a faculty-centric center. It was more of a think tank for Latinx affairs in the city and in the institution. And so the next time I was asked to come back, which was last summer, I said, well, I will do it if I can make some changes. And the changes in my mind were, we can't be a faculty-centric center. We have to turn this into a student-centric center. And so I didn't know if I was going to be approved for that. For the entire summer, I started writing down ideas. There ought to be about 20, 25 ideas of initiatives that I wanted to implement to bring in students to the center instead of just faculty and members of the communities of the community. And it included a bunch of diverse ideas. I'm a big pop culture fan. I'm a big folklore fan, and I'm a big oral history fan. So I started writing ideas on those, and including an idea for Afro-Latino cycle of bringing awareness and knowledge about Afro-Latinos in Houston and the communities. So I kept writing them over the summer, and then when they told me, hey, I want to bring Dr. Ramirez into this, I said, yes, please. I cannot do it by myself. I need a lot of help. And when they mentioned Anthony, I said, this is perfect. I think this can be done. And because one of the challenges that I have once I had a list is that I'm not a media person. I don't know how to do most of the things I actually wrote down, and how to reach out, and how to revamp or social media presence, and how to create a podcast, which I wanted to do. And so when Anthony came in, I said, this can be done. And I presented to Anthony, we met, and I said, Anthony, this is what's going on. And Anthony, in a way, just had a big smile. And I could tell that he said, I got you this. I got this, Dr. De Jesus. And that's kind of how it started. So,
yeah, we've been working, Dr. De Jesus and I, Albert and I have been working together for a year. I had tears in my eyes, like, wow, that was sentimental. That we've been working together for a year, and within a year, we've been able to do so much within the Center for Latino Studies, including build up these partnerships with these individuals that we have with you here. And yes, you see a lot of people here, but trust us, we could have brought a lot more. Yeah. We work with O'Kane Theater, which is a part of the University of Houston downtown, and that's their theater department. We could have brought Professor Luke Fidel and some of the students from there. We could have brought, we were originally going to bring Mr. Jose Vasquez, who is the program coordinator of the university, but he also is the faculty advisor or the staff advisor for the esports team, which you see the logo right there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it, but we do want to give him a quick shout out and thank him for all the work that he's done with our students there at the University of Houston downtown. Because not only is that esports team like really amazing, they're nationally recognized, and they're legit. They're like too legit to quit.
Yeah. And I got to see their space, and it's a legit esports space. It's really amazing.
A&M doesn't have that.
Yeah, no. They don't. Not yet.
Yeah.
We're building one, by the way.
I had to though, because it's like A&M, y'all have a lot, and we're trying to build it up here, and we're excited to show you what we've been working on. So we've introduced ourselves. You saw Dr. Albert De Jesus, Interim Director of CLS. You see some random guy right here. And then you see the amazing and wonderful Jasmine, who is the heart and soul of CLS. Like without Jasmine, Albert and I would go crazy. Seriously. She is what helps us tremendously. And she's kind of like a sister to me there at the University of Houston downtown. So when she's leaving and graduating, I'm gonna be shedding tears. And I'm like, don't leave. But for real though, Jasmine's like seriously amazing. And so like I don't know what we're gonna do without her. Anyways, moving forward, these are some of the events that we've had within the year. How Dr. De Jesus and I have been able to do it, we don't know, but we have. Some of the events that we have is one, what's up, Jojo? Changing up the Center for Latino Studies logo. We totally did a whole rebranding of the center. I designed this logo, and we asked the dean if it was cool, and she's all like, see if you can get it approved and you're good to go. When I had a meeting with the marketing people who do the actual graphics and stuff like that, they were like, who did this logo and how much did you pay them? I'm like, well, one, the person who did it is free, and the person who did it is me. And so you like that? You're welcome. See, I practiced. I did practice. But I did design that, and they were really impressed with it. And I was like, thank you, cool. And so I was just like inspired by papel picado, and just that type of work. And I really wanted us to have an identity for the center, and that was something that both Dr. De Jesus and I were talking about. And we really wanted us to stand out compared to just the rest of UHD. We wanted the center to have its own identity and to feel like a space that's fresh, modern, contemporary, innovative, and a space for students, most importantly. But through the various projects that we worked on, we worked with Dr. Carlos Kelly, who's a postdoc at Rice, but he's going to be a assistant professor at Kent University in Georgia, I believe that's what it is. We had a chance to work with Austin nonprofit organization Latinitas, and I'm currently working with them right now on a podcasting workshop, and it's been really, really cool. We had a chance to work with the O'Kane Theater on an ofrenda that you see right there for Dia de los Muertos, and you might see a picture of me dressed like a priest in a bit. I'll answer that in a bit. We also had an amazing festival called Latin Fest, which Dr. De Jesus leads every year, and we're trying to make it bigger and better each and every year. And the plans that we have for this coming Latin Fest during the Hispanic Heritage Month is going to blow your minds. I hope you can make it if you can. I get it, it's in Houston.
Well, no, but they have equipment to put floor shows together back there, so there's some collaboration, right?
There you go, there you go. And so we also had Afro Latino Day, which featured two amazing writers and poets. And we were really excited to have them there. We also started up our own podcast and had a listening party because we're Latinos, we celebrate everything. And so we had our own listening party, and just it was really cool to be able to collaborate with so many people and have these amazing students be a part of this as well. On Monday, we actually had a event with Dr. Arthur D. Soto Vasquez from Texas A&M International, and so we're excited about that because he's going to be talking about his new book, Migrant World Making. His check's in the mail for me too, so just a plug for that. But as you can see, these are the people that we've had a chance to collaborate with. And yes, there I am in the priest costume. I was an actor with the O'Kane Theater, and this was a collaboration that we did with him. One, both Dr. De Jesus and I were consultants for the play because the play was decolonialized and in a way that it was a Shakespeare play that was set in Mexico, Veracruz, Mexico, during Dia de los Muertos, and hence the reason why you see all these vibrant colors and beautiful costumes and things like that. But we've also had a chance to work with Edward and Indira, who are alumni from UHD, and now work at Que Onda magazine there in Houston. We've also had a chance with Dr. Lopez and the Media and Gaming Lab here at Texas A&M to collaborate with them, but also with UT Austin and the Latinx Pop Lab over there at the BIPOC Pop Festival. And we had a chance to shamelessly promote our podcast and just amazing work that we've been doing at the center. We've had a chance again to work with Luke Fidel, who you see right there in the picture of the flowers. He's the tall guy. That's Luke, and that dude's one of the coolest guys I've ever met. And then in the middle, there's a picture of us at the Historias del Centro listening party. We in the picture you see Edward, Gerardo, Jasmine, Sayla, Nick, Edgar, and Dr. De Jesus and I, and all these amazing people are collaborators with us as well, and have just made the center what it is today, because it doesn't take one person, it doesn't take two people or even three, it takes a whole community of people to make this center rock and roll. And we're really just getting started with what we're doing here at the center. And this is honestly, I love teaching at UHD, but one of my favorite parts of this job is being able to work with these amazing students, because without them, like I said, I probably would have been left and been like, bye. But truth be told, I love it because of them. That's what makes this center so great. That's what makes UHD so great. And I'm just happy to be there. But I'm gonna now move on to let these other individuals speak. And so I should probably let them introduce themselves. So first I'm gonna have Latinas Achieve talk, and you both can introduce yourselves.
I'm waiting for her. Hi, my name is Beatriz Hernandez, and I am the president of Latinas Achieve. And I'm also a first generation for my family, and I am an undergrad student, criminal justice major, minor in business, and here is, yeah.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Diana, and I am a graduate student within the criminal justice program at UHD. I am the treasurer for Latinas Achieve, and my study for my thesis is intimate partner violence. So I focus on, especially within the Latinx community. So we'll give a little rundown of what our org is. So basically, our org is meant to help anyone and everyone on campus. So you don't have to identify as a woman or of Latin origin to join our org. And we believe that it's important to create an organization or community that encourages students to network, learn how to network, and find a community within it. So if our org isn't providing what it needs, we would support someone to create a different org that may not exist already on campus.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about, yeah, I love this. It's just story.
okay. So Latinas Achieve kind of stopped after COVID, then it came back again last year. And my goal is to be able to help Latinas get to places where we can imagine that we can be, maybe more corporate, maybe more media. We also help them with networking events. We work with Power on Hills a lot too, where a lot of women come and they just talk to us. They just help us and guide us through the steps to where either if you want to be a lawyer or if you want to be a president of a corporate company, then we are able to do that, or we can guide them to do it. We also have a mentorship program where not only UHD students or alumni can participate. If any of you would like to do it, you can also do that. We are working on a podcast where we talk about different topics that I guess we as Latinos or Latinas care about. And our goal is also to help them through those podcasts with networking, finances, or just school. Dr. De Jesus and Dr. Ramirez have helped a lot. They are also a big supporters of our organization. Dr. Ramirez, he helped us with our first podcast. We have a room with a lot of equipment for the podcast. So, and as you can tell, I'm a little nervous. I don't know. It's hard for me to talk on.
You're doing amazing.
Well,
You're doing amazing. Yeah.
yes, I'm not sure if Diana has something else to add to that.
Okay. So I just wanted to, I guess, thank everyone that's helped us so far, and especially our members. So our officers have been really hard at work this semester, securing our funding, or technically next semester because the semester's over, even though our funding just got approved. We're finally gonna hold end of semester celebration just to recognize and celebrate everyone who might be graduating and all the members who have helped. So that's something really that we're looking forward to holding, just to congratulate everyone. Another thing that Beatriz has actually been hard at work at and trying to figure out is holding more community events. So she's trying to hold a clothing drive on campus to help students and maybe families of those students, as well as getting people from the consulates to attend, since she's currently interning at the Harris County Jail as part of her senior capstone. She is working with them and trying to find time to bring them onto campus to talk to not just the students, but to the family of the students, and try and figure out any questions that they have or connect them to anyone who might be able to answer those questions.
Thank you.
Good work, ladies. Yeah. Next, we have the Conjunto Cultural Appreciation Group. And No, I'll let them talk. Introduce yourself, guys.
Howdy, everyone. My name is Edgar Martinez. I'm a student here at the University of Houston downtown. I am majoring in criminal justice with a minor in human resource. I am the vice president of the Conjunto Culture Appreciation Group.
My name is Gerardo Vega. I am the president of this organization. I am also a criminal justice major. I'm an undergrad student. So, I may look older, but I'm actually, 20 years old. People think I'm 30 sometimes.
Like John.
That's all right though. Anyways, this organization, it mainly started from just like, I don't know, just ideas really, and conversations that we had because I'm an accordion player. I started playing like about a year ago. Thank you. And he's a drummer. And at a school event that we had, it was a pep rally. They had the drum line playing, and I told him that imagine if we had wapangos playing while we were here, that I feel would get like more attendance. And so that's where we kind of started talking more and more about like creating a group. And then I quickly realized that I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Grupo Frontera. Frontera, Secreto, a lot of groups in the Valley. I don't know if y'all know this, if y'all have family in the Valley or not, but in the Valley, they have a thing called Conjunto programs in high schools. And even in middle school too. In those programs, what they do is they teach you how to play instruments like accordion, bajo sexto, bass, drums, and well, I obviously saw that we didn't have that here. We just had the mariachi band. So I figured that why don't we start something? Why does the Valley have to have all the fun? Why do they get to have all the opportunities, right? So we decided to start it here, and luckily we were able to find Dr. Ramirez to be our faculty advisor. I didn't forget the name of that position. Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. I try to do better than, just that guy. But yeah, that's just a little bit about our organization. We're actually a very, very new organization. We got approved like 2 months ago.
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah, we got approved like 2 months ago. We were not expecting it. We were expecting to get shot down, kind of. But we got approved in like a week. So we were lucky.
You're already making music.
Oh, yeah. I'd be in the hallways just playing my accordion sometimes, just bothering everybody. And, but yeah, we got approved in 2 weeks. We were surprised by that. That's why we don't really have anything to show y'all. Maybe next time, there's always next time. But yeah, that's what our organization is about. We just want to facilitate other students that want to play music to be able to get with other students that want to play music as well. Because I'm sure that there are plenty of other students that play similar instruments, accordion, bajo sexto, stuff like that, that they would like to join a group or create one, but they don't have the the ability to create, or they don't have the networking abilities to do so. So that's why we wanted to do that. We wanted to facilitate, and we also want to educate people about this specific genre of music because, whenever people hear Mexican music, they typically think mariachi. They typically think, trumpets, guitarrones, and guitars. But me, my family's from the north. We're from Tamaulipas, My dad has a degree, but in raising goats and cattle, that's what my dad has a degree in. And, it was, that's what we grew up around. I grew up listening to Los Invasores, Cadetes Linares, Alegres de Terán. And we want to educate people on that because the most some people know about Norteño or Conjunto is like, Los Tigres del Norte. But that's because of their activism. They do a lot of activism for Hispanics and stuff like that. So we want to educate people about other aspects of this genre. We want to talk about the history. We want to talk about the different stories behind it because corridos are not just narco corridos. There's corridos about the revolution in Mexico, and there's a lot of those. And we want to be able to educate people about that because corridos in themselves is a story, and it's being told through the point of view of someone else. And we want to educate people about that so they can learn more about the roots of their culture, basically.
All right, great work. Yeah, they're totally my students, as you can tell. Jose Vasquez again wasn't able to make it, but we still want to give him a shout out and thank him for all he does there at UHD in the esports community. Like I said, they're a nationally recognized gaming group, and man, their room is legit. It's about this size, and it's just like laptops and like computers and gaming PCs, and just it looks super dope. But if you have a chance to look them up, check it out. They have Twitch, they have Instagram, and all that good stuff. Look them up. UHD Esports. Yeah, paid sponsorship. And then now we have Edward and Anita from Que Onda, who are going to talk about their time with UHD and also what they're doing with Que Onda now. Okay, I'm going to let them take over the podium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edward. I'm an alumni student from UHD. I do my undergrad in professional writing and technical communication, and I'm now a reporter for Canada Magazine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Indira Saldiva. I'm also a multimedia journalist for Canada Magazine with Edward. Edward and I work together a lot. We get sent to assignments. Que Onda, a little bit about Que Onda Magazine. It's a bilingual publication. It's been around for more than 30 years. And recently, even, because of its reach, it has a powerful reach to Latinos in Houston. And also it's in Texas too. It's in San Antonio, Dallas.
Mexico City.
And Mexico too. And
we actually just rented out a studio in Mexico City to do a lot more really heavy Spanish work up there.
Yep. And, because of the powerful reach it has with Latinos, also ABC 13 reached out to Que Onda to become a news partner. That's something that just happened about 2 weeks ago.
A lot of their parades that they went to do, like I think we have something every month for the next 18 months.
And, thankfully, our article, the one that we wrote, it was about someone turning 100 years old. His name is Jose Perez. And that article, it was the first one published. Well, it was the first article that Que Onda journalist wrote, and it was published through ABC 13. So that's something that we're very, very happy with. And in our time with UHD, it kind of varies. And you joined in what?
I joined in the UHD in 2019, just before the pandemic.
And I joined in 2017, after going to Lone Star College. And I stayed there through my master's. I got my master's in May 2022 in technical communication. And Edward and I, we met at the Dayline, which is the UHD student newspaper. And we also were the editors.
For about 2 years, we ran the paper as the editor and assistant editor and wrote articles about anything and everything the school had to offer, which is how we met the American Studies and Dr. Ramirez.
Yes, we met Dr. Ramirez because, the school person right here, he's very humble, but he won a national award, and I saw that on his Instagram. I don't know how I followed his Instagram, but for the data found something like that, and I reached out to him. We're like, hey, we want to interview you. So that's how that became. Then we interviewed him like in September of last year, and we just from there Dr. Desu, he met Dr. Desu too, and then both of them together. They also told us about Latinitas magazine, which we also interned there for. And so, Edward, what do you do with Latinitas?
So for my time with Latinitas, I help and assist in a lot of their video editing projects. And that's also what I do for Que Onda. If you ever look at our YouTube channel, I'm the one editing every video on Que Onda's YouTube and most of our Instagram content.
Yep. And me for Latinitas, because they always are doing stuff with the community. They're always growing. And what they did is that through Center for Latino Studies, Dr. Jesus and Dr. Ramirez, Latinitas became bilingual too. So they did their first articles in Spanish, and I was the writing editor, one of them for Latinitas. And
I think that's pretty much it. We got, as Dr. Ramirez would say, shameless plug, we got some of our magazine fans to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we want to see it. Yeah, pass it around.
Well, Que Onda is on all social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Twitter,
X.
Basically just Que Onda or Que Onda Magazine, basically everywhere.
Yes, and our print it's historically print, so you can pick this up bi-weekly, every other Thursday at Taqueria Nantas, Bolillo Bakery.
Some HEBs. And so it's bi-weekly in Houston, it's monthly everywhere else.
Yeah. Especially. Well, I think you have a question. What?
Yeah. So how did you come up with that distribution? Like how, what was that strategic thinking or just like how did you plan that?
That's what they've been doing for years. We don't know why. That's what they've decided, but by the time we got there, they've been doing that for 30 years.
Yeah, Kionda it's a family, so it's like a multi-generational. We started by the grandparents, then, our boss, Gabriel Esparza.
Him and his dad were the ones that started it.
Yes, so he and his son now run the Kionda magazine. And they were the ones who recruited us when we were at the paper. So, yeah.
I saw another handbook somewhere.
What, you mentioned with ABC 13, what exactly you guys doing with them?
So we're partners now, so our stories, they can also share them on their website. So you can check out that first article. It's the headline is World War Worker turns 100 years old. I can share the link later.
We also, I believe, will be doing most of their Spanish coverage for all their events they do.
Yeah.
They host or partner with a lot of parades and things around Houston, and we'll be there doing the Spanish coverage of it.
Yes, we plan to bring in like a lot of more Latino stories because that's the end goal for the part.
So they go on the website,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
but when they're doing broadcasts, do you guys go on the streaming website or the actual broadcast?
We're not sure how that's gonna work, because our first one will be like, I think next month.
Mhm.
So we haven't done any events with them yet.
Is that like, so that will be like Latino English content?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's like, because they see the need for the demographic, because usually you would go to Univision or Telemundo, but you have English speaking Latinos that want to hear about this content. And so,
And not to back to Telemundo or Univision, but we're everywhere that they're not. We do everything in Canada. Wherever we go, we don't see them.
Yes.
They will do anything and everything, so you see Canada everywhere.
Yeah, the category is called Latino, like that's how they put the category for our. Any more questions?
Yeah, we'll take any questions now from
oh, okay.
anybody, anything.
Well, let's give you all of them.
Nothing else?
Well, I just want to say, how many of y'all are in my Almas class? Anybody? There we got some people that are in my Almas class. So that's Latin Mexican American Studies. And one of the things that we talk about in class a lot is this space between being, Mexican American, Puerto Rican, Afro-Cubana, like just all these different spaces that we have. And when we speak Spanish and when we speak English, like I don't speak Spanish very well, un poco. My wife, fluently. She teaches bilingual second grade. But so it was really interesting to hear you talk about how y'all are Onda's doing this content for Latinos that speak English because of the multi-generations that we have and the different lived realities of people. I didn't know if y'all had any questions about that or anything to say, because in class they'll bring that up a lot about, especially the Valley when you're talking about the conjunto music. I saw some of y'all nodding. Do y'all have some of that in? Oh, they were saying that's awesome.
That's really cool. Sorry,
Where's your high school at?
where's your high school?
It's, his software is part of the.
Oh, cool, awesome.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm mainly familiar with La Jolla ISD, because my cousin is in there too. He's in their conjunto program, Los Diamantes, I think. But yeah, I also know the lead singer for De Parranda. He goes in there too. La Jolla ISD. Oh, okay.
Like,
So-
I was telling Rich, but with me at the fourth period, they start playing and then before then. That's we got a little
That's one thing we're hoping to do, and eventually get to the point to. They're working on recruiting more band members, but it's a mix of performance and also just like like music history, learning about what is conjunto, what are the types of genres within conjunto, who are these artists, And so being a popular culture and mass media professor and communication professor, like the stipulation I had for them was right away, it's like, look, I don't want you guys just to be performers. I want you to take it up a notch and educate people on what this means to the community.
Like I just sent Anthony a video of this young person. I don't know who the person was, just randomly popped up, and they were explaining one of the origin, who wrote this corrido. I don't know the name of it, but about everybody thinks that the mom left the husband, and it's about a man, missing his wife that like scorned him or whatever. But really, it was about a mother who passed away. And like just the depth that the person went into analyzing the song and the story and found out who wrote it, just like, man, this is what y'all could do, right? And I'm a media person. I studied cultural anthropology. So to me, all of that is amazingly fascinating, right? And I'm mad props. I love it. I like that you guys are talking about the story of corridos being stories told of others. And I mean, the depth you could go into for folklore, you can go into the music production, right? The making of the instruments, the making of the music. And it's just, me dio mucho ánimo. Thank you so much.
It has been around since the 19th century, right?
¿Verdad?
Storytelling media. We just we have the new version now, but it's been around since the 19th century, telling the stories and recording stories and recording oral histories.
Stories.
Yeah.
And
They had a go.
What part of Sacramento? I mean, yeah, someone from.
Well, my parents were born on a ranch, but they're close to Reynosa.
Oh, okay. I was from Matamoros.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that it's like really meaningful what you guys are doing, because as a little girl who grew up with their dad from Guatemala, like I grew up listening to every kind of corrido and all that kind of stuff with my dad. And like sometimes people are playing like all those other like really old songs, and then they just hear me singing and they're like, how do you know that's my dad?
Yeah.
But like I feel a lot of negative talk right now about corridos, especially like all these new like Afros ones. So it's really like good. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are trying to like, get rid of that image and kind of like bring it back to what it was really, because it kind of hurts a lot, especially since it's such impactful. It's such impactful music to me and my relationships with my dad and really all of my family members. So yeah, I just wanted to keep that. So,
yeah.
Like whenever it comes to corridos, there's a corrido called Máquina 501. Most people think it's just a dancing song, but actually it's a story about a guy that saved a lot of people on a train, and he sacrificed his own life for everyone on that train. And not people understand that because they don't listen to the lyrics, but the lyrics are actually very impactful. I actually get emotional whenever I listen to it. That's how impactful it is.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Talking about your family, I did a story, well, several stories with John Quinones on Selena, like after she got murdered by Yolanda. Go down there, we were interviewing numerous people that knew Selena and Corpus, right? And one night, we finished early after we did an interview with Johnny, what's his name, he was the DJ down there. And we went out to dinner, the news crew and Quinones, and we were all like sitting around this table, we were like, ordering drinks and getting ready for our appetizers. And this guy comes in, he's a painter, right? Mexican painter, paints houses, had the white on, had paint spots all over his clothing. And his daughter was like beautiful in a really nice dress. And they sat down on a table like next to us. And John kind of leaned over and he goes, what do you think this is all about? I go, I don't know, John. I know that's got to be right. Yeah. Anyways, so we're sitting there and the father gets a butter knife and he taps the glass. And people in the restaurant all just kind of like looked around and they were like, wow, what is this? And this guy started singing this corrido to his daughter in Spanish. Like, and I'm leaning back, my Spanish isn't that great, and John says, I'll tell you in a second. This guy had this incredible voice, and his daughter was just sitting there. Her eyes were just swelling up. And the father was just so emotional. He actually stood up and like sang it to her, right? Never taking his eyes off of her. And he finishes, and people are just like ecstatic. I mean, the waiters weren't even serving food because his voice was that powerful. And people started applauding, and people were like crying. Well, it was her 15, 13 Sonata, but he couldn't afford anything for her other than take her to dinner and sing her the song. So I said, hey, John, so we'll make a song about it. And the song is about his struggle as a young man, his marriage to her mom who had passed, and it was just him raising her with his sister. And he told this life story of how proud he was of her and where she was at in her life and where he was at still in the struggle of his life to do the best that he could for her future. And it was like, blew me away. His voice was an instrument that was like, I just like, what? Who is this guy?
Did you get his name?
So long ago. I mean, we're just
Will be the amazing, right?
Yeah. That's powerful. Just blown away, but just to express the impact of even what a single voice and a story can say in that world has such dynamic and such range. And it's all that emotional, right? That really in-depth thought of soul and connectivity to the humanity of one's conscious is what a lot of that is derived from. And it's a masterful piece of music.
Well, I had two things to share. One was on Conjunto. I had the craziest cultural interaction with my father-in-law, who's since passed, when he bought a car. It was crazy. So we went to this Toyota dealership in San Antonio. I'm going to truncate this very, very short. And Karina, he has this nice woman named Betty, who I've known for a long time, is selling him the car. And everything that he says and does is in Spanish the whole time.
He knows English.
And he knows English.
Well, he knows English.
He knows English, but he speaks in Spanish and has Karina translate and then talks to Betty. And then Betty talks to Karina and then Karina translates to him. Right? So I'm like, all right. And her father, he's from Crystal City, Texas, a small little town, actually from Asterton. And he loves conjunto music. So anyway, so they decide to get this car. We go into financing. He has cash. He's going to just write a check for the car. So the saleswoman is like, oh, this will take like 5 minutes. Right? So he sits down, and it's this Latino guy that's doing the financing, the finance guy. And her dad just looks at him, and he looks behind him, and he looks at him. And they talk, they like greet each other in Spanish, but he like looks at him funny, and he's like, who, like in Spanish? Well, you want to tell him this part? Like,
So
if you say it in Spanish, it's better in Spanish.
The manager had pictures of his kids, and they had an accordion, right? And the man plays accordion. And so they start talking, and dad's like real serious. Y para ti, ¿quién es el mejor tocador del accordion? Who is the best? Who do you think is the best?
Like dead and like he's gonna die if he doesn't answer this right.
And that doesn't speak, when he's out in public, he did not speak English. He knows English. He was a manager at HEB. He will speak in Spanish. So he spoke to this guy real dead serious, like real, like, what are you gonna answer? What's your answer, right? Like test time, right? And the man says, well, Esteban, hold on. And dad's like, okay, good answer. You're right. You're all right. Type of thing. Like you're all right. And then they talked for like 20, 30 minutes about accordion music. And it turns out the man did a band, and they did little loops around Texas, right? They played in different places.
All the way up?
All the way up north. And my dad and his parents were migrant farm workers until they married. And so they would go to North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, Utah, you know, all the northern states to work in the fields. And there would be conjunto bands that go around in the fields and play, you know, they play on a Saturday night. So the bailes, you know, the dance on Saturday night, everybody went to. Dad went to Corpus a lot of years in high school. And so they talk for 30 minutes and poor Betty over here is like, what's going on? What's the deal?
You assign the check.
And no, they just talked about
Talking
music.
about conjunto music for 45 minutes.
And
Sales
like a
woman.
lot like you, my dad just played music all the time, you know, so I appreciate that.
The other thing I was gonna say is that I really like this Latinitas Achieve group that you have. It's hard to see trajectory when you don't see people that look like you succeeding. And one of the hardest things I saw my sister-in-law go through was her kids asking her like, so you're an engineer? And she was like, yeah, I'm an engineer. They're like, you don't look like an engineer. You know, dad's an engineer, you know? And so she wrote a children's book. She's from Chiapas, Mexico, went to UTEP. And she wrote a children's book about being an engineer and working on the rocket boosters for NASA and all these different things. And so a group like this is a group that not only can inspire you as you go through education, but you can inspire those below you, and you can inspire people older than you because they see that you're doing this and that this is alive and that this is being passed down. So I really love what y'all are doing and what y'all are standing for, because it has power not only in the school, but it has power throughout communities, professional communities and in education communities where kids get to see like, hey, I can go to University of Houston downtown. I can go do this or that. I don't know if y'all had anything to say. Yeah.
I am actually, well, I came from Mexico City when I was 14 years old, running away from domestic abuse violence from my dad. So came here, then I graduated high school. I had a boyfriend or whatever, then we married. I went through domestic abuse myself. So right now I'm a single mom of 3 kids. My oldest one is 20. I'm almost 40. So my goal by doing this is to show them that yes, you can. And then I see my little cousins and my daughters, and they see me as okay, so I can do it. Mm-hmm. That's my goal.
I'd like to say, I applaud you for incubating a lot of distance forward. I know with a lot of changes going on as far as university politics and how things have been difficult. Recently speaking with a festival that happened in Corpus Christi every year, how they've had support in the past and how now it's literally down to nothing because of the word Latino or the word Black or whatever that's related to that. So I applaud you for incubating these young minds to create this space so they can be safe and be able to express who they are. So 100% thank you for doing that. And thank you guys for making that easier for other people to be a part of something.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a more practical question. So you said it's open to people who are not necessarily part of or UHD, right? So what would it look like for people in other campuses to join other conventions that whatever you guys, the resources you have?
Okay, so I'm a mentor for one of, she's a UHD student right now, so she's a poli-sci major, and she's going into wanting to be an immigration lawyer. So what I help her with is she guides everything. She guides our conversations. We meet through Zoom because that's what's most convenient for her. So in terms of how that would work is you can sign up to be a mentor or a mentee, be at least a mentee. So, there's different things you can do, both if you even wanted to be a mentor and a mentee to someone who needs the help or has gone through something, then they need someone to help them through that. So It would basically work through Zoom meetings, and what I encourage is, as a mentor, I encourage you, if you choose to be a mentor, to encourage your mentee to guide you on how they want their path to be created. So with Getty, that's my mentee's name. She told me the first day, I was like, tell me everything about you and what you want to do and what you want me to help you with. And so she gave me her path and what she wanted to do. And she is looking at applying to UH Law. So what we did is I created my own personal statement, updated my resume and my CV, and I gave her those as an example of what she could do or what I could help her with as in terms of updating her resume, her CV, and even reading her personal statement and going about and editing it. And I also have friends in the graduate program right now who have already been accepted to law school who are applying. So I'm asking them for help as to how I can help her whenever it's her turn to apply. So I guess it depends on what you want to do and how you want to handle it. Since we're just building up the program, it's only UHD students right now. For mentees, but for mentors, we have someone from Houston Chronicle.
Houston Chronicle, yeah, the Humane Society as well. And if you go to Instagram, you can find us as UHD Latinas Achieve. And we have the QR code into that so that you can just sign.
Yeah, and so every semester we'll go again and partner anyone who has just applied, and we'll hold, we're trying to set up meetings on Zoom and in person simultaneously to get everyone to meet each other. So mentors meeting other mentees and stuff like that, just so we can create a better way of networking, with your mentor there, especially if you had a couple of meetings, you can go to them and say, hey, I want to approach this person. How would I go about that? And right there is live action of, seeking advice, getting advice, and then putting it into action. So I hope that answered your question.
I'll say real quick, like one ideation I've had as we've talked about this is that on the presenters page that because I'm managing it, what I'll do is I'll garner all y'all's groups info, like Instagrams and I'll go and I'll embed links on everybody that's going to present today. Any extra stuff that susses out during the conference, and we'll add that so that as a group we can go back and click on those and see those, and if we want to add it later. Yeah.
Well, so for me personally, in my experience at UHD, my experience with Center of Latino Studies, I would say I'm very proud of what we've done, especially within like this year that I started and everything, because it's only been a year, and everything and the people and the organizations we have been involved with and created and the relationships we harbor and everything. Because I honestly, every time I hear whenever people come to our center, they're like, there's no place like this and everything. I feel safe here. And, I enjoy coming here. And like, even from past graduates, they're like, one of the biggest reasons they come back to university is just to come by and everything. And so I think that's really impactful, because it's like, I can see that, and I can see that even when I'm gone, that I really do hope that this keeps growing, and I really do hope that we continue to create an environment that is for students and everything. But yeah.
So if you want to transfer to UHD, you're more than welcome to. Our website is uhd.com/transfer. Thank you. All jokes aside, thank you so much for giving us this space and this opportunity to have the Center for Latino Studies and all these amazing organizations that you see in front of you here. Again, we're a student-led center for the students, and that's the most important thing that both Dr. De Jesus and I and Jasmine have really wanted to establish. And you can see the power of the students that are here and the individual stories, the experiences, and the realities that they all have. And they're just incredible, incredible individuals. And we don't look at them as just students. We look at them as family. And yeah, somos familia. We always say that to each other, right? And so thanks for being a part of our family, and from our family to yours. I feel like I'm at Olive Garden now, from our family to yours. No problem. Like, yeah, one breadstick at a time, no, one poncho at a time. But like, thank you so much from our family to yours. Like, muchas gracias. Like, thank you for letting us be here. Thank you for letting us share our stories and our craziness with you all. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we hope that we inspired you in some capacity and start up a conjunto group here. And all that good stuff. And yeah, so love you all. Thank you.